But I love my time with my athletes, guys. I'm not a coach who sits behind a fucking computer writing programs for my athletes or my clients without putting the effort in with them or challenging myself and my own mental demons and my goals in life. It's great for me to have the opportunity to train with people like Chris, because it allows me to sort of live my younger yet days again when I was a competitive athlete. I'm going to try to guide you as much as I can. I'm not going to be controlling you, but it's super important that you listen to the things and the information I'm going to be feeding you. Remember, this is a journey of lifestyle, okay? Success can come in multiple different formats, but you want to be a part of a journey which has depth and your foundations are strong, so you're building a structure and a pyramid effect. Okay. If you just concentrate on being super successful today or tomorrow and you don't look at longevity, moving forward, your career is going to be very, very small, okay? Remember, this is a lifestyle journey for multiple weeks and months and years, because if you want to make a dent in this industry, and you certainly have a huge amount of potential, you've got to look at the bigger picture and don't just focus on the now, okay? First exercise on your plan, going to be medium grip, low pulley row. I like this exercise. When you perform this exercise, stay a little bit wider with your elbows. Okay. If your elbows are concentrated deep or certainly into your torso area, you're going to be pulling more through your inner lat area. We're trying to hit your outer lat area slightly, all right? Okay. I'll start warming up first, okay, and then I'm going to let you transition after me, okay? All right? Right, as you pull backwards, Chris, right? Pull back into your torso. This is the position, and pull lower, slightly lower. So pull down here, aim for here, okay? Okay, come forward. Good. Perfect, good. You're going to put yourself in a neutral position then. So you're going to automatically engage and contract your back when you throw your chest into a line. So indirectly, you're creating an arch effect, okay? Good, perfect. Okay, guys, so with any movement, no matter what the rep ranges is, no matter what the exercise is, super important to make sure that you warm up thoroughly when you're doing your warm-up sets. This isn't just going to reduce the risk of injury. You're going to get some activation neurologically. You're also going to get some synovial fluid taking place. And you're also going to allow a priming effect to take place. Now, when I do my warm-up sets, what I progressively do is go slightly heavier and heavier and heavier with every warm-up set. I don't go to failure. This is just as a means of, as I said, priming. And then once I feel that I've hit about 80% of my maximum weight that I'll be using on the working sets, that will be my last warm-up set, which is normally about 4 warm-up sets thereabouts, guys. Right, this is the resting position, okay? Rest pause, okay? Yeah, just 12, just 10 to 12. We're just priming, just feeling the weight too, yeah. Yeah. Remember, warm-ups are just there to prime, Chris, and not to go to failure, okay? Yeah. Good man. Good. Right, that's textbook form. Keep that there for me. Good. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Chris looks like over the next number of days as we're training together, especially when he gets some blood in his muscle. But one thing I'm noticing straight away is that obviously you're like 14 weeks out, so? 15 weeks out. So 15 weeks out, we haven't actually started what would be a proper pre-contest diet at the moment. Just basically trying to feel my way about how his body responds to certain food types, certain macronutrients, etc. But there's also already a lot of funky detail taking place in certain areas of anyway. So just briefly looking at him executing his warm-up sets at the moment, I'm expecting Chris to have one of those physiques which is super refined and detailed. So that's pretty exciting, pretty exciting. Power engage, okay? Stay strong. Good, perfect. Good, squeeze through that back now. Remember, you're not just executing the form, you're making sure you squeeze and contract. Good, perfect. More power, let's go, power, that's better, squeeze, good. 2-3 reps, that's it. Good. Okay, good, excellent. Guys, we're gonna go into our first working set at the moment. Primarily, I don't know how strong Chris is going to be, so there's a good possibility this stack is not going to be heavy enough for him. So we have two options here. If the stack is going to be too light, then we're going to slow down the eccentric phase. So time under tension as far as the weight and load on the areas back is going to obviously increase, which basically means that the exercise is going to become harder. So that's one way we can actually make the exercise harder. Secondly, we can concentrate more of a peak contraction. So when he gets into that peak contraction phase, where basically the bar is touching his lower abdominal area, that point is our peak contraction phase. We can hold that for, a little longer. So basically, instead of it being a split second, he potentially could hold that point, making sure that he squeezes and contracts all the time for about 2 to 3 seconds. That's again is going to increase the stress and load on his back. But we'll see how he gets on now with the next working sets. And also, when we're doing this workout, we're going to be implementing rest pause on every single working set. This allows you to go beyond failure, but you'll see this as we go through our working sets. Good. 2, 3, 4. Come on, 3 more and then rest pause me. It's 1. Come on. 2. Rest pause. Good. Lie back. Stay strong now. Keep your core tight. Okay. Your grip was going? Yeah. Super fucking important you wear wraps, okay? Get into it, okay? Because you will start failing. You won't be able to go to the limits that you need to. Because people talk about progressive overload, people talk about stress and load. But ultimately that stress and load or that environment progressive overload needs to be applied and activated exactly where it needs to. And there's nothing worse than performing an exercise and you're losing concentration because a weakness has taken place. And the weakness, as I said, on 99% of back exercise is going to be biceps, forearms, wrist and grip. You don't want to be in an environment where you're having to fight against being engaged because you've created an environment of weakness, which, as I said, is going to be your grip, okay? Also, guys, you are going to get weaker with every working set. So if you're applying yourself 100% to an exercise, you're going to get weaker. You're going to lose reps or you're going to lose strength, which means you're potentially going to have to reduce the weight slightly if you're trying to stay within a certain rep range. Don't look at that as a negative. It's normal. Don't be one of those people which get egotistically caught up with weight and reps and then start losing connection with the muscle that you're training. Remember, this is a journey of creating the perfect environment for breaking down muscle, creating an environment for recovery and repair. So everything that we're doing at the moment is all about making sure we're applying that stress and load exactly where we need to be applying it. With me bouncing, my arms are straight, so they're not bent, because if they're bent, I'm engaging my biceps. So they're straight, but they're not hyperextending your elbow joint. And that movement is stretching out your lat. It's allowing that lactic acid to dissipate a little bit, but it's also giving you the momentum to pull again. Do you understand? Okay. Stay strong now. Smash this fucker up, come on. Big year, come on, 2018, motherfucker, let's go. Good, stay back to me, lie back there. Good, better, throw chest forward. Good, better. Good. Squeeze, come on, squeeze here for me. Contract, come on. Good. Okay, so this is the first time we've trained together. So it's impossible to stage anything, guys. So we'll obviously talk about the workout a little bit throughout the workout, but we'll talk more about it after, because at the moment I just want to make sure that Chris's mind is purely focused on what we're applying and what we're trying to attain from this workout. And then we'll break down all the exercises in more detail after. And Chris will also talk about his experience throughout this workout as well. Okay guys, Chris is struggling because he's finding his forearm and his grip is going. And that really isn't unfamiliar when training back. So I'm a massive advocate of lifting straps. Don't get caught up with how strong your grip is, because I've already spoken about already. If you're challenging yourself, your grip is always going to go. So make sure you dissipate and get rid of the issue of your mind being taken away halfway through a movement because your grip is going. Use wrist wraps. Don't leave them out of the equation, the same as a lifting belt. Now, if you're lifting properly and you're engaging your core, then the need for a belt is going to be lesser. But that being said, there are certain movements which I'm a big advocate on. Okay, so don't be one of those people who think, I'm not going to use lifting straps, I'm not going to use a belt because it's aiding my workout. No, it's not aiding your workout. It's allowing you then to put that extra emphasis exactly into the movement and the working sets that you're applying, okay? Good, keep engaging now. Perfect. Okay, do a front double bicep for me. Make sure you suck your midsection as small as you can, okay? Just structurally see what he looks like with his top off, guys. So, because things can be very different with a top on or obviously a top off. So I just wanted to see exactly what's taking place with his muscle bellies and his attachments. Got a very, very clean looking physique. Really great muscle bellies, great insertions. He's got some really crazy detailing, which you probably won't see on the actual video because his fat levels aren't necessarily low enough for you to be able to pick them up on the camera. But I can definitely see crazy striations in certain muscle groups of his, especially throughout his triceps in all three heads. So very impressed with his physique, to be honest with you. But I definitely feel he's going to be somebody who's like a work in progress. And even though that he's got the structure and the foundations now for a very, very positive impact when he steps on stage, I feel that it's going to take 2 or 3 years for Chris to really grow into what I would say is skin. And when I say that, I'm on about being a competitive IFBB pro. So there's a difference between being an elite top tier amateur, and there's a difference between being an IFBB professional and being a competitive IFBB professional. This guy has definitely got something very magic, you know, Chris, somebody with this type of potential, muscle belly, shape, structure, and certainly like the refinement and detail that he has on his physique, even though his body fat percentage is probably about 10% or so, I would say. It's probably around about there. Pretty crazy, to be honest with you.
My first time meeting and training with Coach Neil Hill, it was a grueling workout from start to finish. My forearms were on fire, my back, the engagement. We did these things called pause reps. And it was absolutely intense. And Neil is not like the rest of these coaches out here. He'll actually get in a fight with you, and he trains with his athletes and his clients. And that's something refreshing to see, that a guy that's right in the program is willing to get in there with you. And I remember when I first got sponsored by Redcon One, a buddy of mine hit me up. I knew Neil from working with Flex Lewis and William Bonac, and a buddy of mine told me to message him and see if I could work with him. I said, no, he works with IFBB pros. He'll never work with an amateur like me. And he just said, go for it. So I messaged him. I didn't think he would reply back, and he did. And here we are.
Okay, guys, so this is my first impressions. Okay, guys, so this is my first impressions of Chris. Super impressed with what I've just seen. This is the first time I've actually seen him in the flesh. I've obviously had videos, I've had pictures from him. And that can be very, very different when you actually see somebody in front of you. You see the full scope of the three-dimensional physique, or whether somebody's not three-dimensional. But visually, this guy has got phenomenal potential. You know, it's not just the fact is his attachments and his muscle bellies, and his physique has very much got a very matured look to his physique, even though he's never competed before. And that's one thing about, I just want to express with you guys and girls which compete. What you'll find is that density of a muscle or the quality of a muscle isn't just about the number of years you train. It's also the amount of refinement that you go through over a period of time through contest preparation or body composition changes as far as fat levels are concerned. But Chris has really shocked me, to be honest with you. It excites me to see such a young athlete with so much potential, and I feel that his future is very, very bright. All he needs to do is apply himself, follow the lifestyle, don't be impatient. Remember, this is a journey, this is a marathon, it's not a 100-meter sprint. And as long as he he applies himself the way that he needs to, day after day, week after week, month after month, and obviously with his great sponsors, Redcon One behind him, I'm sure that his future in the industry is going to be very, very great.